Where the sea steamed and the mountains breathed smoke, there stood the greatest empire the world had ever known. Valyria. Its towers were carved from black fused stone, smooth as glass and older than memory. Roads shimmered like obsidian rivers, and above them all, dragons, hundreds of them, bronze, crimson, onyx, pale as bone. They circled the sky like living constellations. The Dragonlords believed themselves gods. They had mastered flame. They had bent mountains. They had enslaved lesser men. And the 14 flames, the great volcanoes that ringed the city, were said to be chained by Valyrian sorcery. Bound, tamed, controlled. But fire is never truly mastered. The first tremor came at dawn. In the mines beneath the 14 flames, slaves felt the earth shudder. Not a collapse, not a shift. Something deeper, something alive. Dragons screamed in their pits. The second tremor split the streets. Fused stone cracked. Towers groaned. In the sky, dragons wheeled wildly, riders shouting commands that vanished in the rising roar. And then, the mountains answered. The 14 flames erupted all at once. The sky turned red. Not sunset red, not battle red, but the red of the world being torn open. Lava burst like tidal waves. Firestorms swept through streets where noble houses had ruled for centuries. Dragons took to the sky, only to be swallowed by ash clouds that boiled hotter than their own breath. One Dragonlord tried to climb above the smoke. His dragon's wings caught flame mid-air. They fell like a star breaking from the heavens. The sea itself began to churn. Massive cracks split the land. Entire districts vanished as the ground collapsed into fire. Rivers turned to steam. Ships in the harbour ignited where they floated. The spells that had once bound the volcanoes unravelled like frayed threads, and in that unravelling, the empire ended. By nightfall, there was no night, only a burning horizon. By morning, there was no empire, only ruin. Where once stood shining towers, there remained a smoking wasteland, blackened stone, rivers of cooling magma. Dragons lay scattered across the ash fields. Wings twisted, scales split. The freehold was gone. Only distant outposts survived. Houses far from the heart of the catastrophe. Among them, the lesser family of House Targaryen, who had left the peninsula years before for a bleak island fortress called Dragonstone. Some would later whisper that it had been prophecy. Others said it was arrogance. Some dared to claim the gods themselves had struck them down. But no one truly knew. The doom came in a single day. And in that single day, the most powerful civilization in history was reduced to shadow and smoke. Sailors who passed the ruins still speak of it. They say the sea boils around the broken peninsula. They say strange shapes move beneath the water. They say the sky above the ruins never fully clears. And sometimes, on windless nights, you can still hear dragons screaming.